What's good, my people? Welcome again to another episode of the Washington SXM podcast. As always, like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to click the bell and get notified whenever I drop a video. I drop a video daily, so you can come back and see what I'm talking about on a daily basis. But this is not my typical, what I typically review or do videos on, but I couldn't pass this up. It's Donald Trump is back, and I'm telling you, for 2024 election, he's gonna win if he get the chance to run, and you're gonna see why he will win, because the media can no longer paint this narrative as he's a crazy or racist idiot white man. That no longer flies, because he did do more for black people than Obama and Biden put together. Cause Biden and Obama, they are soft. They walk and they take over the whole presidency, and then it's going crazy. But when Trump was in, Trump passed immigration reform. He passed not immigration reform. Sorry, my bad. He passed the prison reform, which was a great thing for black people, and he did tax reform as well. So that's two great things he did. No other president did that of recent time. So let's listen to this speech, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
Left-wing gender insanity being pushed on our children is an act of child abuse. Very simple. Here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures, and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare, and will be terminated from the program immediately. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children. The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital networks to determine whether they have deliberately covered up horrific long-term side effects of sex transitions in order to get rich at the expense of vulnerable patients, in this case, very vulnerable.
Right there, quick before we finish that. You see what he's talking about? A lot of people agree with what he's saying, me included, because I believe this attacking the kids they're attacking the kids from daycare centers than from prematernal care. They are doing this. So I'm saying 2-year-old are indoctrinating kids now with books about transgenderism and gays and the rainbow people, come all the way up throughout primary school, high school, and everything. So, and this will make Republicans back him, and Democrats, because Democrats are tired of this, of President Biden. And when he was in power, there was no war. As soon as Biden got into what he almost at war with Russia. But people gonna put him back in because they don't want to help Ukraine anymore, because it's too much money they're wasting, and they don't want to start the next war. So let's continue to finish this.
We will also investigate whether Big Pharma or others have illegally marketed hormones and puberty blockers which are in no way licensed or approved for this use. My Department of Education will inform states and school districts that if any teacher or school official suggests to a child that they could be trapped in the wrong body, they will be faced with severe consequences, including potential civil rights violations for sex discrimination and the elimination of federal funding. As part of our new credentialing body for teachers, we will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers, and celebrating rather than erasing the things that make men and women different and unique. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth. The bill will also make clear that Title IX prohibits men from participating in women's sports, and we will protect the rights of parents from being forced to allow their minor child to assume a gender which is new and an identity without the parents' consent. The identity will not be new, and it will not be without parental consent.
So, guys, you see there, people cannot say, you can say all you want about Trump, that Trump is he's crazy. The guy is he's very smart when it comes down to certain things. I'm not gonna say in all things because he did make some outlandish predictions and things, but people will forego all those things when he actually do what they want. Like this, a lot of people are going to be on board with this, with what the forcing the teachers making a child to identify whatever he or she wants, and everything he's talking about, it's valid things that people will back him, because the presidency now is so woke. They're putting in women in position of power just because they're women and just because they're black. That's it. Sometimes you must always put the most qualified person in the position, whether the other person is pink, white, or purple. That's why I never agree with affirmative action, because if my only reason for being here is to fill a quota, you're not helping me. There's no way you're helping me. And Trump, I never believe he was a racist, but I do believe he's classist. He like people with money. He don't like broke people to be around him. He like rich people and smart people to be around him. And he like loyalty. That's what he likes. And if that's why I see so many people stick by him no matter what. And people who turn against him is people who, after he kicked them out. I'm not saying he's all good, but he's not all bad. That's how they try to paint him as to be. You need someone like him in there to balance out this new wave of wokeness that's going on. He will balance it out evenly. Trust me. I can see it. Anyway, you don't know again, it's the Washington SSF podcast. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something as usual. You don't know it is. Peace, one love. Boom.